scoring a new brunch buddy was never going to happen. Instead, I encounter people like this: the living, breathing, reincarnated cast of Heathers and Mean Girls who had all grown up and gone into the only industry where their petty, small, inauthentic lives can be put to good use: PR. It didn't matter that this particular person had a dick. The Mean Girls gene is gender neutral. A less aggressive person would have sunk in her chair and slunk away. But that's not me. Not ever. Not even if it was the end of the world and the worst day of my period. So instead, I sat up straight and angrily retorted, "I'm Liv. I'm talented, brilliant, and the next New York Times bestselling author." I followed my outburst with perfunctory pursed lips and a "so there" stare. "Of course you are." The mean little PR guy gave me a smile that was just begging me to Jackie Chan kick his front teeth out. "Listen, it's almost impossible to get a lit agent without a decent platform," he continued to tell the audience. "Talent is no longer enough. Not even sheer brilliance can get you published. What an agent really wants to know is, how many followers do you have? How are you marketable, and to which demo? Are you commercially viable? And why you above 1,000 other people doing your exact same thing? Everyone who wants to be someone in this room needs to ask themselves." I'm pretty sure he addressed this last comment just to me. Who the hell are you? For a week, I was rolling this question around on my tongue like a cough drop. That's when I got the rejection email and got the answer to my question. I am nothing. I am literal shit. I am an author of an ugly, useless, unpublished manuscript. An undercooked writer with a measly 500 IG followers and delusions of grandeur. I was nothing. The front door opened and closed. I didn't move. "Situations have improved, I see," Reese, my roommate and bestie, said, dropping the mail on the coffee table. It was a standard Washington Heights apartment. Its vibe consistently incipient, despite the fact we'd lived there for 6 years now. Maybe all New York apartments felt inherently unfinished to its tenants. Dreamers, always wanting more. A long, narrow hallway we had painted deep green sort of referred to each space, instead of opening up to it like a lazy flight attendant. It was a Frankenstein construction where one could tangibly feel 2 apartments should have been one, but corporate greed and overpopulation had jaggedly split them apart. Reese had to walk down the narrow hall to get to the living room where I was. A devout introvert, she used to walk directly to her room, but I made a stink about it. "You can't even come and say hi?" I would wail. Now, she makes a point to stop by the living room. When you enter the apartment, Reese's small, dark, dungeon-like room was immediately to the left, the bathroom directly adjacent. She chose eggplant purple for her room. My larger neon green room, with better light, a street view, and the fire escape, which, let's face it, is a balcony, was on the other side of the apartment. Before I'm labeled the consummate bitch for taking the better room, let me just say, she wanted it that way. Reese would cut off her right leg rather than pay more in rent for the bigger room. A spacious but narrow kitchen sat in the middle of the apartment and was painted sapphire blue. It led directly to the boxy living room, with one accent wall painted bright red. It was probably bigger than it felt. We'd stuffed it with art, plants, a cheap, oversized Amazon bookcase that was hemorrhaging novels and DVDs. There was room for little else. Not even a tree during Christmas. Against the wall with the bright big windows with no decent view sat my favorite purchase: an oversized, overpriced, overly comfy bright red couch, which had housed every artist, musician, actor, I just moved to New York dreamer who had ever lived. We called it the home for wayward girls, but quite a few boys had occupied it as well. Currently, it housed me. I hadn't moved from where she'd left me this morning. I hadn't gone to work. I just added a few annexes to my pit of despair: Chinese, Thai, and Indian takeout. 3 empty cherry Coke bottles, used tissue, and a moat of flamin' hot Funyuns. And me in the middle, sprawled on the couch, ass naked. "I ate some of your Funyuns," I confessed. Reese disagreed with me on the spot. No, you didn't. You spread them out on the floor. Is this performance art or something?" "They really are too hot. I don't see how you eat them." "I don't eat them, do I?"